The 10 most dangerous places on Earth. Do you think you're brave enough to face the most extreme challenges the Earth has to offer? Well, some places don't forgive even the slightest mistake, where even breathing can be a life-threatening act. But before we go any further, be warned, what you're about to see is not for the faint of heart. From hellish deserts to mountains that devour the fearless, we're going to explore the most dangerous places on the planet and the survival stories that defy logic. If you think you've seen it all, get ready to question everything. Now, are you ready to discover the 10 places that might push your limits? 1. Oymyakon, the deadly cold of Siberia. Located in the remote region of eastern Siberia, Russia, Oymyakon is a small village that has gained notoriety as the coldest inhabited place in the northern hemisphere. With a population of around 500 people, this village is a striking example of human resilience. Here, temperatures can drop below -71 degrees Celsius, so cold that car fuel freezes and pens stop working. Life in Oymyakon is shaped by these extreme conditions. During the winter, which lasts about 9 months, the days are short and darkness prevails. Residents must stockpile food for the entire winter, as agriculture is impossible in this climate. Ice fishing and reindeer herding are essential for survival. Interestingly, children are only excused from school when temperatures fall below -52 degrees Celsius. In addition to the deadly cold, infrastructure is minimal. Most homes still lack indoor plumbing, meaning residents rely on outdoor toilets, an almost unbearable task in such temperatures. Even with slow modernization, old traditions like using animal pelts for warmth remain essential. 2. Skeleton Coast, the deadly desert and sea. In Namibia, along the Atlantic coast, stretches the Skeleton Coast, one of the most arid and inhospitable regions on the planet. Known for its shipwrecks and extreme conditions, this coastline is a true graveyard for those who dare its waters or land. The Skeleton Coast earned its name due to the large number of shipwrecks that have occurred over the centuries. Dense fog, strong currents, and shifting sandbanks made navigation extremely dangerous. Today, the rusted remains of ships and the bones of whales stranded on the beaches dot the landscape, grim reminders of the danger. Surviving a shipwreck is only the beginning of the ordeal. Those who reach the coast face one of the driest deserts in the world, where the lack of water and extreme temperatures make survival nearly impossible. The desert is home to desert lions and hyenas, predators that have become masters of survival in this harsh environment. For the few who survive the desert crossing, victory is short-lived, as returning to civilization can be just as deadly as the journey itself. Paradoxically, the cold waters of the Benguela Current that border the Skeleton Coast are rich in nutrients, supporting abundant marine life, including large colonies of fur seals. These dramatic contrasts between desert aridity and ocean abundance create one of the most surreal and awe-inspiring landscapes on Earth. 3. Lake Natron, Tanzania's deadly. Lake Natron, located in northern Tanzania, is one of the most lethal bodies of water on the planet. Its red, visceral waters seem straight out of a horror film, but are actually a natural phenomenon hiding deadly dangers. The lake is extremely alkaline, with a pH that can reach 10.5, about as caustic as ammonia. This is due to the high concentrations of sodium carbonate and other minerals flowing into the lake from the surrounding hills. During the dry season, water temperatures can reach 60 degrees Celsius, creating an environment inhospitable to nearly all forms of life. Animals unfortunate enough to enter Lake Natron's waters are quickly petrified. The lake is known for preserving animal corpses in lifelike poses, as if they were eerie statues. The high salt content and sodium carbonate deposits encase their bodies in a hard layer, turning them into a kind of natural mummy. Curiously, despite these deadly conditions, Lake Natron is the only breeding ground for the lesser flamingo, which thrives here in great numbers. The algae that flourish in the alkaline waters provide abundant food, and the caustic water protects the flamingo nests from predators. This fragile balance makes the lake a surprising example of how life can adapt to the most extreme environments. 4. Vostok Station, the epicenter of cold, located in the heart of Antarctica. Vostok Station is the Russian research outpost that holds the record for being the coldest place on Earth. With a recorded temperature of -89.2 degrees Celsius, the station represents the very limit of what human life can endure. The epicenter of cold Vostok Station is situated atop a massive ice sheet, over 3,500 meters above sea level, at the highest point of the Antarctic continent. Surrounded by elevated plateaus and winds that can reach astonishing speeds, the air here is so dry and cold that any unprotected exposure can result in immediate frostbite. Machines and electronics are designed specifically to operate in temperatures that would quickly destroy standard equipment. In addition to studying the climate and extreme conditions, scientists at Vostok have drilled through the ice to reach a subglacial lake buried more than 4 kilometers deep, known as Lake Vostok. This lake has remained isolated for millions of years, and it is believed to harbor unique microbial life that could offer insights into life on other planets. Life at Vostok Station is an experience in extreme isolation. During the Antarctic winter, the station becomes completely cut off from the rest of the world, with no possibility of evacuation in case of emergency. The few scientists who remain during this period face conditions that test both physical and psychological endurance, pushing the limits of human resilience. 5. Danakil Desert, Hell on Earth. The Danakil Desert, located at the border of Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Djibouti, is one of the hottest and most uninhabitable regions on the planet. With temperatures frequently exceeding 50 degrees Celsius, this desert is a boiling cauldron of geothermal and volcanic activity. Danakil sits at the convergence of 3 tectonic plates, which results in intense volcanic and geothermal activity. Fumaroles emitting toxic gases, bubbling sulfur springs, and boiling lava lakes are common features of the landscape. The area is home to the Erta Ale volcano, known as the Smoking Mountain, one of the few volcanoes in the world with a continuously active lava lake. Despite the extreme conditions, the Danakil Desert is inhabited by the Afar people, who have adapted to survive in this harsh environment. They are known for their resilience and for extracting salt from the desert's salt flats, a practice that dates back centuries. Salt harvesting under the blistering heat is one of the most grueling and dangerous jobs in the world. The landscapes of Danakil are otherworldly, with sulfur hills in shades of yellow, orange, and green contrasting with red lava lakes. These surreal scenes make the desert one of the most fascinating and deadly places on the planet, where natural beauty comes with constant peril. 6. North Sentinel Island, the Forbidden Territory. Part of the Andaman and Nicobar archipelago in India, North Sentinel Island is one of the most mysterious and dangerous places on Earth, not because of natural hazards, but due to the hostility of its inhabitants. The Sentinelese are one of the last isolated tribes on the planet, having lived on the island for approximately 60,000 years. They fiercely reject any form of contact with the outside world, responding to all approach attempts with extreme violence. Arrows, spears, and stones are the weapons they use to keep outsiders at bay, protecting their culture and way of life. The Indian government has recognized the need to preserve the Sentinelese culture while also protecting others from the danger posed by the island. For this reason, a 5-kilometer exclusion zone around the island has been established, and any attempt to land is strictly prohibited. This legal protection helps prevent fatal incidents, such as the one in 2018, when an American missionary was killed trying to contact the tribe. Very little is known about the Sentinelese, as observation of their life is limited to distant reports. They continue to live traditionally, hunting, fishing, and gathering forest fruit without contact with modern technology. North Sentinel Island remains an enigma, a prehistoric remnant untouched by time, and a stark reminder that not all parts of the world are ready or willing to join global civilization. 7. Death Valley, the Scalding Cauldron. Located in California, United States, Death Valley is the hottest place on Earth, with recorded temperatures reaching 56.7 degrees Celsius. This desert region, which lies 86 meters below sea level, is one of the most extreme and lethal environments on the planet. During the 19th century gold rush, many pioneers tried to cross Death Valley in search of California's riches. However, the desert proved to be a relentless adversary. Many never completed the journey, perishing due to extreme heat, lack of water, and treacherous conditions. These events gave rise to the valley's name, which continues to warn that the unprepared may meet a swift end. Death Valley is a place of geological extremes, with vast salt flats, sand dunes, rocky mountains, and bizarre stone formations. One of its most intriguing features, Racetrack Playa, is a dry lake bed where massive rocks appear to move on their own, leaving long, winding tracks across the flat surface. Despite its name and harsh environment, Death Valley is surprisingly rich in biodiversity. Highly adapted plants and animals, such as coyotes, kangaroo rats, and various cactus species, thrive here. In spring, a rare phenomenon called a superbloom transforms the desert into a sea of wildflowers, a fleeting display of life that contrasts sharply with the severe landscape. 8. Lake Kivu, the sleeping giant. Lake Kivu, located on the border between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, is one of the largest lakes in Africa, and also one of the most dangerous. With billions of cubic meters of dissolved carbon dioxide and methane gas in its depths, the lake is a potential disaster waiting to happen. The threat from Lake Kivu lies in the possibility of a limnic eruption, a rare phenomenon in which gases dissolved in the lake's deep waters are suddenly released, forming a toxic cloud that can suffocate all life around it. This kind of event has occurred before, such as in Lake Nyos, Cameroon, in 1986, where over 1,700 people died. Seismic activity in the region, driven by tectonic movement, increases the risk of such an eruption. To reduce this danger, industrial plants have been set up to extract methane from the lake and use it as an energy source, relieving pressure from the accumulating gases. However, extraction remains limited and the threat persists. Despite the looming risk, millions of people live along the shores of Lake Kivu, relying on it for fishing and drinking water. Life around the lake is a blend of natural beauty and constant apprehension, where everyday activities take place under the shadow of potential catastrophe. The danger posed by Lake Kivu stems from the possibility of a limnic eruption, a rare phenomenon in which gases dissolved in the lake's deep waters are suddenly released, creating a toxic cloud that can suffocate all life around the lake. This type of event has already occurred in other African lakes, such as Lake Nyos in Cameroon, where an eruption in 1986 killed more than 1,700 people. Seismic activity in the region, caused by the movement of tectonic plates, increases the risk of a limnic eruption. To mitigate this danger, industrial plants have been constructed to extract methane from the lake and use it as an energy source, reducing the pressure from the accumulated gases. However, extraction is limited and the threat remains. Despite the looming risk, millions of people live along the shores of Lake Kivu, depending on it for fishing and drinking water. Life around the lake is a blend of natural beauty and constant unease, where daily activities take place under the shadow of a potential disaster. 9. Atacama Desert, the driest desert in the world. In northern Chile, the Atacama Desert is the driest place on Earth, with some areas having gone hundreds of years without rain. This desert, which stretches for more than 1,000 kilometers along the Pacific coast, is one of the most inhospitable environments on the planet. Temperatures in the Atacama vary drastically between day and night, with scorching heat during the day and freezing cold at night. Solar radiation is intense, and the near-total lack of moisture in the air makes life incredibly difficult. The few organisms that live here, such as certain species of cactus and lizards, are highly adapted to these extreme conditions. Despite its dryness, the Atacama is a place of great archaeological and scientific interest. Ancient fossilizations and remnants of pre-Columbian civilizations show that the desert was once a more abundant region. The dry conditions have also preserved many of these remains, allowing scientists to study ancient life in remarkable detail. The soil's similarity to that of Mars makes the Atacama an important testing ground for space missions. NASA and other space agencies frequently conduct experiments here to test equipment and techniques intended for future efforts to explore the Red Planet. 10. Mount K2, the Deadly Pyramid. K2, located in the Karakoram mountain range on the border between China and Pakistan, is the second highest mountain in the world, standing at 8,611 meters. Known as the Savage Mountain, K2 is one of the most dangerous climbs for mountaineers, with a significantly higher fatality rate than Mount Everest. Climbing K2 is a feat reserved only for the most experienced climbers. The route to the summit is extremely technical, with vertical sections, frequent avalanches and rockfalls. Weather conditions can shift rapidly, turning a promising ascent into a fight for survival. The bottleneck, a narrow corridor of ice and rock near the summit, is particularly notorious for its danger. Over the years, many tragedies have occurred on K2, including the disastrous 2008 season, when 11 climbers died in a single day due to an avalanche. These incidents have contributed to K2's reputation as the deadliest of the world's tallest peaks, where the line between success and fatality is razor-thin. Despite the dangers, K2 continues to attract climbers seeking the ultimate challenge. Successfully summiting K2 is considered one of the greatest accomplishments in a mountaineer's career, but the price may be one's life. The mountain demands the utmost skill, endurance, and often luck. Now YouTube is recommending 2 videos. Hopefully you'll enjoy the next one.